Hi, my name is Qoussay El Akkari, and I'm in charge of designing the level 0, level 5 character and lore of the game. Today, I'll be telling you all about our game for the first assignment. Our game is a narrative-based top-down 2D pixel game that follows the story of a certain traveler named Falco. In the year 2150, the Earth has sent an expedition of a team of travelers to explore the universe in search of vibranium, which is a very rare material used in a variety of industries. Travelers are a special unit of astronauts that specialize in wandering the universe and explore its wonders. When the expedition team was attacked by alien space pirates, they decided to escape separately and meet up at a later time when it's safe again. Falco found himself inside of a black hole that warped him billions of light years ahead in the universe. The magnetic field of the black hole was so strong that it destroyed Falco's communication system. The traveler found himself in a very far galaxy with no way to contact his team. His only solution was to use the portal in his freighter. However, he has no idea where he is, which it made impossible to figure out the portal parameters that will allow him to warp back to Earth. Desperate to go home, Falco kept warping using this portal to a random location in the universe every single day in the hope of finding some clues that will help him go back home. The Earth starts with Falco in his freighter, and when he walks down to the portal, an interact button animation will appear. When the player clicks on button E, a select level menu will appear, and the player will need to select each level that he wants to go. Each level is designed in a unique way, with unique objectives, enemy types, and even unique themes. Will the player find himself in an ice wasteland, or maybe in a post-apocalyptic world where he must escape the zombies? Who knows? The character has 4 states: unarmed, pistol, assault rifle, and a shotgun. Each weapon is unique and has its own advantages. However, these advantages come at a cost. For example, the shotgun is a super powerful weapon that deals a lot of damage, but it has a very slow fire rate and very close range. You need to get really close to your opponent to take advantage of that extra damage. The theme for the level 5 that I will be designing will be medieval times. Falco would wander around the villages of ancient civilizations, facing new challenges and extremely difficult enemies. You will also meet new characters and forge new friendships. The details of the level are still not defined yet, but it sure is going to be an amazing journey for the player.
Hi, my name is Raven and I will be presenting about the main idea on level 1 and the current progress as of week 7. So level 1, as you can see on the screen, is an introductory level and it is set in a lab with Tech Dungeon as theme. So you can see it's filled with dungeony, tech dungeony properties, so like the green things, the assets and the robots, also the bio soldiers here. So the story behind the level is that this lab was taken over by robots and biologically altered soldiers, and the main goal for this level is to kill all of the enemies, including the boss. So as of the time of recording this video, the overall layout of the map is already completed. So this would be roughly the final layout of the map. The only thing that I would be adding in the future would be extra props for natural barriers as well as environmental shields. And then as of now, the AI system is half working. Let me demonstrate to you what the AI is currently capable of. You can see the screen, so the AI could chase the player, and they will chase the player for as long as the player is within the range for them to chase them. So as soon as the player is out of range, the AI will stop chasing the player, and they will go on patrol, or they will go back to their station depending on the type of the character. Also, we can kill the enemies as of now. The player's weapon mechanism is exactly the same as the mechanism explained by Qoussay in the previous section, using 1, 2, 3, and 4 to select the weapons. Then we can use left click to fire the weapon. The animations for all of the enemies as of now is already complete, and the next things that I would like to add would be to finish the boss, which will be placed here. I would also like to refine and enhance the AI further. I would also like to add the props, as I have said previously. I would like to add more props, and also I would like to enhance the patrolling capability of the AI such that it doesn't crash into each other while they are pathfinding. So that is all the progress from me. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Syed Ahmad, and today I'll be talking about the level design plans and progress for level 2. And in this level, the theme is puzzle dungeon. So, and as you can see, it's a network. It has a network layout where the player can go back and forth between the different areas inside the level, so they can do the challenges. So it has an easy to medium difficulty because this is the second level and we don't really want to ramp it up all of a sudden. So the level mechanics that I will be using is to utilize movement of boulders and colors in order to make puzzles that the user has to solve. Pressing or filling the tiles in sequence as needed is done to open paths so that the user can go and progress within the level itself. So the objective is to obtain a key where they can open the chest to get the objective, which is the coordinates. So the levels also use traps such as flames, spikes, and so on. And in this level, it uses mind teaser hints from room to room to actually guide the users, introducing the mechanics of the game itself, such as ready, set, go, and screen blue and red. And the progress is actually the user goes back and forth between the areas within the level. And this is to solve the connected puzzles. So to limit the time and to create a sense of urgency, I'm thinking of implementing lava, acid, and traps to actually do damage to the user so that they will try to progress towards the level within a set amount of time and will not be just going back and forth within the level itself. Lastly, the development progress is currently I'm laying out the level and brainstorming the challenges itself. The rough idea is there, but then it's still in refinement, as well as the asset and script implementation. Here you can see the rough layout of the levels. The user will spawn here, and this will be the objective. And then this boulder, this is a boulder, and they'll be pushing it to this tile. And then this will have a door which will open so that we can walk through. Then maybe some spawning monster here, we'll see. And then we'll push the boulder and fill in this thing, and we'll be introducing the green tile, and then the spikes, and then the blue tile, and then the pet tile. And these are boulders that the users have to think of what they want to actually do with it. All right, so the boulders itself, the user has to think of how to utilize them throughout the level. And the last room, there's actually a sequence of them. There'll be hints throughout these rooms on how to actually utilize the boulders and the tiles. And lastly is this, and then here will be the key. And then they'll have to go back up here to actually use the key for the opening of the chest. So that's it for now. And yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Hello everyone, my name is Umar Jerry with student ID of SWE1909919, and now I will present about my level design plans and the development progress of my level. So the theme for my level, which is level 3 in our group game, is about Tundra Wasteland. So it is a snow level with nothing but trees, monsters lurking in the area, and some treasures that the player may found along the way. The reason of using this theme for this level is because there are some unique features in Snow level that can be used to introduce difficulty spike in the game progress and to provide a variety of challenges so that the player will not get bored when playing the game. Upon exploring the cold tundra terrain, the player will eventually find a ruin that contains the important component to move to the next level. The mechanic of this level is centered on to simulate cold in snow levels. So in order to implement that, upon playing in this level, the player will immediately get hypothermia gauge. While the gauge is increasing over time, the player will start to experience slower movement when the gauge reaches halfway of its limit. And when the gauge is full, the player movement becomes very slow, and the player will lose 1 hit points if the gauge is not decreasing. So if the player cannot find a way to decrease the gauge, eventually the player will lose all of their lives and they have to retry this stage again. Furthermore, the player still has to fight enemies in order to survive in this harsh terrain. So this is where the difficulty spike comes in, because while the players in have to survive and find a way to decrease the cold gauge, the players still also need to battle the enemies.
So how to reduce the hypothermia gauge? Well, to reduce the gauge meter, the player need to light a fire. At the tundra, the player must find matches and a fireplace in order to activate the fire. However, in the ruin, it becomes easier because the player just need to activate fireplace mechanism. The player can also gain an item or a skill that is able to hold the gauge meter for a short period, so that the player is able to survive for a while without any fireplace. When the player has reached the deepest part of the ruin, the player will need to fight the boss that guards the component to move to the next stage.
So the development progress of this level is still only focusing on brainstorming the level design ideas, the game mechanics, and collecting necessary assets for the level. And unfortunately, necessary scripts for level 3 has not been completed yet up until this development progress record. So that is all about the level design plans and the development progress of level 3. Thank you for listening.
Hello, my name is Ahmad bin Muhammad Hasnol from SWE 1909647. Today, I will be talking about the level design plans and progression from the team led by Raven. Being the level 4, the theme is going to be about pirate battle scene. The player finds himself teleported once again, this time at a sandy beach. Being a complete outsider, the pirates will go all out in trying to eliminate him. Player finds certain codes that leads to the opening of a bottle in order to escape from this nasty land. But can he do it in time? That's for you, the player, to figure out. As for the level mechanics, the pirates will come in waves to attack the player. The player must avoid and collect enough hints or codes to make it through the portal in time. A timer or a certain restriction will be displayed to showcase the urgency of the player. If the player does not get out in time, the player will get struck with the bad fate of the pirate overlords. Let's talk about the development progress. The assets have been loaded, the characters are now playable, it's movable, and can interact with the system. Tile maps and level design is to be added soon, but are already in progress. The mechanics are 50% completed. What's next is to add the enemy and make everything tie up together. Let's take a look at the actual Unity section. We have the tile map ready. What's next is to create the actual map, make it look nice, add the decorations, add the walls, and by doing so, we'll be done 50% of the level. The only thing left is to create the enemy, spawn them, which we'll be doing so using a spawner component, and create and tie everything out together. That's it for my part. I hope you will enjoy playing the game later. It will be a lot of fun.